Ethan, an 8-year-old boy, had always been protective of his father, David. On what should have been the happiest day of David's life, as he was about to marry Emily, Ethan discovered a terrifying truth that would forever change their lives. The boy, who had a strong sense of right and wrong, could no longer stay silent when he realized that Emily, the woman his father was about to marry, had dark secrets. With courage beyond his years, Ethan stepped forward and halted the wedding, causing a dramatic ripple effect that left everyone stunned. The church was filled with excitement as David awaited his bride. The ceremony was set to begin, and Ethan, dressed in his miniature suit, nervously clutched the ring pillow. As the bride entered, all eyes turned to Emily. She was radiant, gliding down the aisle, her golden hair cascading in waves, and her blue eyes sparkling with emotion. But Ethan's mind was elsewhere. Despite the joy around him, he couldn't shake the unsettling feeling in his gut. Months before, David had introduced Ethan to Emily. Ethan, still mourning the loss of his mother, felt a pang of uncertainty at the thought of another woman entering their lives. At first, Emily seemed warm and kind, but as weeks passed, Ethan started noticing changes when his father wasn't around. Emily's behavior became cold, and her affection turned to sharp remarks. She belittled Ethan, making him feel unwelcome in his own home. One night, while David was out, Ethan overheard a conversation between Emily and someone named Mark. She had been discussing a life insurance policy and mentioned how a tragic accident would set her up financially. This revelation sent a shiver down Ethan's spine. He realized that Emily was not just indifferent to him, she was planning something much more sinister. Determined to protect his father, Ethan tried to warn him, but David dismissed his concerns. "Emily cares about you," he said, brushing off Ethan's fears. Ethan, feeling more alone than ever, decided to gather evidence. He snooped through Emily's laptop, discovering disturbing documents, including an insurance policy that would pay millions if David died in an accident. Ethan's heart sank. Emily and Mark were plotting to hurt his father for the money. The tension reached its breaking point on the wedding day. As the ceremony continued, Ethan's anxiety grew, and the moment came when the officiant asked if anyone had a reason why the couple should not be wed. Without thinking, Ethan shouted, "Stop the wedding!" The church fell silent, and all eyes turned to the trembling boy. David, confused and concerned, knelt beside his son, asking what was wrong. Ethan, his voice shaky, revealed everything he had discovered. Emily, her smile faltering, nervously tried to dismiss his accusations. But Ethan didn't back down. He insisted that Emily was planning to kill his father for the insurance money. David, shaken and in disbelief, turned to Emily, demanding an explanation. Emily tried to convince him that Ethan was just confused, but her composure cracked as David pressed her further. Realizing the truth, David made the painful decision to end the wedding. The guests were in an uproar, and Emily, unable to maintain her facade, bolted from the church, leaving chaos in her wake. The police were called, and as they investigated, they apprehended Mark, who revealed the full extent of the plot. Emily, or rather Sarah Connor, was a con artist with a long history of manipulating wealthy men. She had planned to marry David, kill him for the insurance money, and then disappear with Mark. The truth devastated David, but he was grateful to Ethan for exposing the danger. The weeks that followed were difficult. David and Ethan navigated the emotional aftermath of Emily's deception. They faced the challenges of dealing with the legal fallout while rebuilding their lives. David apologized to Ethan for not listening to him sooner, and the bond between father and son grew stronger. They learned to cherish each other more, realizing that their love for one another was more important than anything else. Months later, they received the news that Emily had taken her own life, leaving behind a note of remorse. While the revelation brought some closure, it also left David with complex emotions. He struggled to understand how someone he loved could betray him in such a way. Through therapy and time, he and Ethan began to heal, finding solace in their unwavering bond. As life slowly returned to normal, David and Ethan started new traditions, like taking camping trips together. They found peace in nature, away from the chaos of the past year. The experience had taught them a valuable lesson. The most important relationship in their lives was the one they shared with each other. In the end, Ethan's bravery had not only saved his father's life, but had also shown the